Is it recording? Hey guys, what is up? This is the Good Vibes Podcast, and I'm bringing you good waves, good vibes, and good times, all from the comfort of my own home. And so finally, I've been able to get a webcam, and we've got that coming in. And hopefully, if everything goes right, this will be my first YouTube video. And so anyway, I had to move the camera out of the way because I was just kind of I was getting too focused on it and on myself. But as you can see, this is where all the magic happens. This is where Friday with Friends happens, the Mondays. One time Friday with Friends happened in the kitchen, but I mean, that's understandable, right? But anyway, I've got all y'all's questions on my phone. And this is where it happens. This is what I do. This is where I record it from. I mean, I've got my computer right here. The program's pulled up, and we're doing it, and we're doing it well. So anyway, I'm very excited. But more than likely, something's going to mess up because it always does with me. And I'm going to end up wasting like a whole podcast or so. And because I'm not able to work the video or something like that. But anyway, yesterday, you guys came through, all of you. You sent me some amazing questions. I had so many questions come in for the podcast yesterday. And like I said, I think it's due to the fact of how much energy I put in. I have a Snapchat. Let's see what this says. It's a thumbs up because I said I had to go do my talk show. But anyway, I think it's the amount of energy that I put out that get you guys to send back in the questions to me. So anyway, this is the 27th podcast. That's crazy. We're coming up on the 30th podcast mark, and then we've got the 30th podcast mark, and then we've got the 1,000 download $50 Canoekins gift card giveaway coming up, and that's coming up fast. So anyway, I'm excited for both of those, and so we're doing good. All right, everything seems to be working fine. We're going well. Okay, anyway, let's get started on some questions. Because, I mean, when I say I have questions, I have, like, a lot of questions for you guys right there. And it may not seem like I think I have some that I didn't save on Snapchat. I might have. I'm not sure. Anyway, here's a picture of John. All right. So, the first question I got was, can you cry underwater? Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure. Like, okay, so there's the action of crying, and then there's, like, I guess, like, crying with tears. Now, I would say that you can cry pretty much everywhere. I don't think it'd be smart to cry underwater because you would die. You couldn't breathe. You might drown, actually, from sniffling and sobbing. But I would say that, yeah, you could probably cry underwater. But the thing is, you're just not going to have any tears. And literally, I couldn't think of any reasons as why to cry underwater, mainly. Why are you going to be underwater in the first place if something sad is happening? There are only maybe like a couple reasons that I can think of maybe you scratched your foot while you were in a lake, a mermaid stole your toys. And that's really the only two logistical reasons that I can think of as to why anybody would cry underwater. But I would say, yes, you can cry underwater, but there will be no tears, and there is a high likely possibility of death. Death would probably ensue if you were just boohooing underwater. But, the water has never made me sad. Whenever I'm able to swim or go in the ocean or play in the lakes, I've always been able to, be happy because I'm with my friends, I'm with my family, I'm with people, and they care. And so I'm just always happy around the water, unless it's cold, and then I hate it. All right. Anyway, what do you think is the most attractive about Adam Levine? Hashtag no homo. And so, for those of you who have been with me for a while, we discussed the no homo principle a while back. I would say probably close to a month and a half. And so, let me just bring that up. The phrase no homo, I want to rediscuss it. It talks about, it discusses that. The question was, when do the principles of no homo stop working, such as in when does something become homo after you say the phrase no homo? When does it stop and extend? And so the phrase no homo covers everything and never stops working, so you can literally do anything under the act of the no homo act as long as you say it first. So I just wanted to I guess the right word is reiterate that. But anyway, doing that. And so I would say the most attractive part about Adam Levine No Homo. See, now that I said no homo, I can discuss the most attractive part about Mr. Levine is that I personally like his tattoos. And so, because I myself have tattoos, which you guys can't see because I'm wearing a long sleeve because it's kind of cold. But I think that his tattoos are a fairly attractive part about him. I like his hair a lot too. I mean, my hair was like that when it was a little shorter, but I'm just growing it out now because my life is spiraling out of control. So, I like his tattoos. I like his hair. In general, I would say that Adam Levine is just an attractive man all around, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint one certain thing that's attractive about him. But again, I'm going to say probably if I had to choose between his tattoos and his hair. He's got good facial hair, but I wouldn't pinpoint that as something that's like one of the most attractives because anybody, well, not anybody, but a majority of people can pull off good facial hair. And if you want to see like an example of people who can't, I mean, you're watching it right now. So I'm gonna go with probably his tattoos because I have a couple and I really like them a lot. So I would say that no homo, the most attractive thing about Adam Levine would be his tattoos. Oh, I'm kind of stopped up right now. Sorry. I literally woke up probably like 10 minutes ago. And so, do I believe that the government has a cure for cancer, but does not want to release it because they want the money from people for treatments? See. This is literally Snapchat. Send me questions on Snapchat, and I screenshot them, and I go through here and answer them on Wednesdays. Any questions you want. And so, there's kind of been a conspiracy around that, as in, you make a lot more money in treating a disease than curing it. I'd like to believe that the government doesn't do that, but I also know that there's the guy that sells AIDS pills for $800 a pill, and he only does it to make money. The AIDS medication, I think it's the AIDS medication. So I wouldn't throw it out the window completely because, personally, I do feel like our government cares a lot more about money than a lot of other things. You look at all the, I guess, taxes. I mean, there's just some weird stuff out there, I wouldn't say. I've never really thought too much into this to take a side on the matter. I'd like to say no. But I'm also not going to rule out the fact that, yes, there could be a possibility of the government having the cure for cancer and not releasing it. I wouldn't put it beneath them, but I would really hope that they wouldn't do that. Cancer is serious, and if you've looked or heard or even like seen somewhere any of the medical bills that cancer patients have to go through and how much money just one person has to give, and then multiply that times the hospitals full of cancer patients, the children's hospitals full of cancer patients. I mean, yes, even children's hospitals, they don't care. It's money hungry. It's a money deal. But that's a lot of money that would go into cancer fund. And also, the Red Cross relief down, I'm really bad because it probably sounds like I'm spitting out false information, which, I might be because I really don't fact check a lot of this stuff. So I just kind of tell you what I hear. And so I don't know how reliable this source is or how reliable this story is. I wouldn't be sure. But that the Red Cross Foundation, they went to do relief work, and what they did was they were cleaning up tar balls on the beach, And so, I mean, like little tar balls, like, and what it's just oil. And what they would do is every time that somebody spotted a tar ball, everybody, 8 people, would suit up in these little CDC uniforms, and then they'd all drive their four-wheelers to where the tar ball was at, pitch a tent over the tar ball, and then they would have a hand washing station. And then what they would do is they would go in, pick the tar ball up, put it in a big plastic bag. Everybody would wash their hands, and then they'd take down the tent, or I think they would throw away the tent. Like, seriously, it was a new tent every time. And they would do that for every single tar ball that they would find on the ocean. And so it's like, what? But anyway, that was crazy. And so that's just a big waste of money for that. And then also, they were given like no, they weren't given. They were supposed to be donating money to this relief fund somewhere. I don't exactly necessarily remember where, but and they donated like a small certain amount of money, and then what they did was they gave the money to like a lot of people that were high up, and they increased their pay grade. They gave them a bonus, and then they bought them all like brand new cars. And so I don't know how reliable that story is. I know the first one's true, but that one, I'm not exactly sure how trustworthy that is. But I do know that that was really weird. But would I believe that the government has a cure for cancer but does not want to release it? I would believe that, but I would seriously hope it'd be false. But then again, I'm not going to like sit here in little, I guess what, ignorance world? I don't know. But, to take a side, I'm going to say that I do believe it. Because they make so much money off of curing that stuff anyway. Is space infinite? I just want you guys to take a minute to appreciate this picture of Daniel, for those of you watching on YouTube, if I can get this on YouTube. That's Daniel, and he asked me if space is infinite. Is space infinite? Yeah, of course. And I've had my own little theory about why there's no air in space, which is, I guess, me being an extremely scientific person, obviously. But because space is infinite, there's no end to space, therefore space is still expanding. So if you want to get where I'm coming from, you put your hands together like when you clap, but then leave your hands together like, I guess, like in a praying fashion, and then like just pull your hands apart really fast. And then when you pull your hands apart, that like sucks all the air out of the middle, because it's like a suction, and so like all the air comes out of the middle, and then it's kind of like you suck it, and then all the air comes back in. But like, when you pull your hands apart really fast, it like moves all the air out of the middle due to the suction thing. So my theory, if you guys followed that at all, is that space is still infinite and there's no oxygen in space because there's like space is like one giant vacuum, because it's still expanding. And so therefore, since it's still expanding at such a fast and rapid rate, because it's infinite, it's still infinitely expanding, that there's no chance for, like, I guess, quote unquote, air or whatever to come back into space. But I mean, it's still expanding at an infinitely fast and infinite rate, and so therefore there's always a constant vacuum and suction because it's still constantly expanding, and there's never going to be a point where it stops expanding to allow air to come back in. And me being a completely scientific person, that is my conspiracy theory as to why, that is my theory as to why space has no air and is always vacuum and is infinite. But because of that, I'm so tired, guys. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for yawning. I need some coffee. So, next question I got was, why does Santa Claus hate the poor? And, honestly, I think it's because that he's not poor himself, and he's just a little D-bag, and he believes in only, like, treating people that are along with him. Because think about it. You gotta have a lot of money, A, to build a house in the North Pole, right? You got to have a buku tons of money to get up there, establish running water, establish electricity. Like, there's no power grid whatsoever. So, I mean, you got to have a lot of money just to do that, period. B, you got to have money to take care of 12 reindeer, nonetheless, that fly and have to be physically fit and in shape to deliver, there's 7 billion people in the world, so, like, mathematically wise, there's got to be, 4 billion children, something like that. So you gotta have reindeer that are physically fit and in shape to deliver presents to 4 billion people. So, I mean, that's money right there that's got to go and train them, training them constantly day in and day out. I mean, that is training all year round to do that. Third, those reindeer got to have muscles to carry presents for 4 billion children on their back. So think about that. So, one child probably gets, let's cut it down to an average of 5 presents on Christmas. And that's talking about grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, family. We're going to put that in an average of 5 presents for Christmas because there are some children that get 1 and there are some children that get 14. So we're just going to cut that down to a 5 average. So 5 times 4 is 20. So those reindeer got to be carrying 20 billion presents on their back. 12 reindeer, flying reindeer. Plus, add that to a 250, 300 pound fat man. So that's 3 reasons right there where all your money's gone. And so let's talk about the elephant in the room. The fourth reason is because how are you going to build a warehouse big enough to manufacture 20 billion presents? And how are you going to have the power to supply a warehouse to build 20 billion presents? And do they have unions in the North Pole? Or is this a 24/7 sweatshop? And why aren't we doing anything about that? Because those elves are extremely underworked compared to those children in China. At least they get a paycheck over there. And they only work 12-hour days. Those elves in the North Pole are working 24/7 trying to clock in 20 billion Christmas presents in 364 days. And then, every leap year they get a little break. They get 365 days to do presents. So that's insane. So you got to have the money to feed. So let's say 20 billion presents. And so let's say that's a lot. So let's say the elves are good workers, like an elf. So the elves, one elf can manufacture 50 toys in an hour. So 50 toys per hour. So that's, all right, let's fix it again. So 50 toys per hour. 50 times 24. So they're making 1,200 presents a day, the elves are. So 1,200 presents a day times 364 days. That's 436,800 presents a year. So we'll say one elf can make a lot of presents. So I'm going to do the math here and figure out how many elves you need. So I need a little notepad real quick. I need something at 436,800. That's what I got to remember. 436,800. So that's how many presents one elf can make in a year divided by, do I say 20 billion? I guess 4 times 5. That's 20,000. 2 million, 20 million, 200 million. Oh, I can't go any further. I gotta turn my phone sideways. 2 billion, 20 billion divided by 436,800. So you gotta have 45,787 elves in order to make 20 billion presents a year at a rate of 50 presents an hour per elf. So do an elf, that's a lot of employees. I dare say find me a company that has, what was that number? I dare say find me a company that has 45,787 elves that work for him. So you got to have the money to feed 3 square meals a day. So that probably costs, let's say he's on the cheap side. So it's $5 a meal to feed an elf. So that's $15 a day. So $15 a day. $15 a day times So you're spending $686,813, if I did the math right, a day to feed these elves because 45,000 times $15 a day is 686,800. So you are spending $15 per elf per day to feed these suckers because there's no food in the North Pole. There's no fast food restaurants, and you're not paying them because they're working 24/7 in a sweatshop. So you're giving them free meals, and so costing all them. This is probably a I'm gonna say $1 trillion business that he's got running out there, and I don't see how he could be in the positive on this business, spending all that money. So why does Santa hate the poor? Because he feels like probably the poor are completely inequivalent compared to him. Everybody's probably poor compared to Santa and the amount of money he has to spend on doing all of those facilities up there. And so that just sucks, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to be equal to everybody. You can't do that. How do you feel about your brother playing basketball? I feel that if he keeps working at it, he'll be able to come up and senior year probably be better than half of the people on that team right now, minus Daniel, Jordan, Dyson, Kenneth. I'm missing somebody because it's only 4. Will sucks. That's who it is. And so he'll be good, and I'll be there at every single game supporting him like a madman. I haven't been able to due to work, but anyway, going in through that, I think that he'll do really good. So, should I go to the class party or not? I'm going to call you out. That's asked by Olivia. Yeah, I think that everybody should go to the class party. That should be a thing. Are Santa's reindeer immortal, or do they just replace them with another and name it the same thing? I'm going to say that they're probably immortal, coming through the question I just asked. Because, well, I don't know. No, they're not. I'm going to say that they're not. Because I just went through his whole money scheme. So if there was the fact of immortality included into his reindeer, then that would mean that all that math I just put into, all that logic I just put into what he had, none of that all went out the window because of magic. But I would say that no, they're not. And he has to have a ton of reindeer. Because if those die and he doesn't have any ready available, he's probably got like 4th string reindeer back there that they're doing every single day just in case something happens. And then they just slap a new name on it because you can't keep renaming the reindeer because it ruins all of our Christmas rhymes. I mean, that's a huge no-no. And so I would say that they are immortal. They are immortal. And that they slap different name or the same name on them when they die. And so it's kind of sad. And it kind of like puts their deaths, nobody remembers their deaths, but that's just how it is. Why is Evan so cool? That is my question. It's very good. I think Evan is so cool because he thinks he is, because he has like mental problems and his parents just show him a lot of extra love that makes him feel special. So that's kind of what happens. Ways to defeat seasonal depression. Just have depression year-round. That way, when the seasons roll around, you're already used to it, and then you've kind of beat it in your own way. So if you just have depression 365 days a year, you've got to beat. Because that's not seasonal. That's year-round. And so you just got to think ahead. Best winter date ideas. If you go anywhere, don't freeze your tail off. If it's below, here, tip. If it's below freezing, you are not allowed to do anything outside winter date idea wise, because no matter how many clothes you wear, it's just going to be miserable for the both of you. And so I went on a date, what was it, Sunday? Yeah, and it was below freezing, and so we had to change plans. It was a double date, and we had to change plans in order to we just went and watched a movie, and then we went and ate a little bit. We got hot chocolate at McDonald's. Thinking smart. And then we hung out at her house, because like the double date split up after the movie. And then we hung out at her house for a while. And see, we did all things inside, and it was still such a great it was such a great date. So that was a good thing. And so, best winter date ideas, do stuff that, there are I know that like it's just kind of creepy, but go to neighborhoods and look at Christmas lights, man, in the warmth of your own car. I know that around Huntsville, people do that purposefully. They set out Christmas lights for the one fact of people to drive in their neighborhoods and look at them. Because the galaxy of lights, that's like $20 a car, and that's a ripoff. Because you can't go Dutch on that because it's a date, so you're paying for that $20. Now, don't sit on your wallet on a date though. I mean, seriously, if you're gonna go on a good date, you cannot be stingy. Because I mean, I'm not asking you to spend like $200 on a date, but I mean, don't sit on your wallet. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. And I can't give you any reasons why to. It's just nobody likes anybody that's stingy with their money when it comes to trying to. Because a cheap date, that's what it's called. You don't want to be a cheap date. Don't take her out and be like, oh, you can only order off the dollar menu because yada, yada, yada. Oh, no, I'm not going to spend money on that. I mean, yeah, it's sad that it's focused on money around the dates, but, I mean, just, buy her flowers every time you come to her house. Yeah, do it. Flowers are like $3 at Publix for like a dozen. And so, actually, no, not a dozen. It's three. You can get 3 bundles of flowers for $12 at Publix. Like, I'm talking like flowers. And it probably cost, it was for me like $3 in tax and some change in order to buy her flowers when we went on an actual date. And so, you know what? Lighten up and get her some flowers because that makes any girl's night, no matter who it is, no matter where they're at. And if you just got if you dress yourself in the morning and you don't get a single insult on how your outfit looks that day, then you have the fashion ability to pick out a set of pretty looking flowers and go and take that girl flowers. So go buy some flowers and stop being so stingy. And they're like $3. And it's probably maybe like at max like a 10 or 15 minute, if you don't live out in the boondocks, 10 or 15 minute drive to Publix. It's maybe not even be out of the way for you in order to go and get her some flowers. So the best winter date idea is warm, someplace warm, please. What do I love the most about Christmas? Considering I've gotten this question like 5 times, I'm just going to shorten it so much and just say the atmosphere of Christmas. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. I've answered that question so times. Share a Christmas memory. I've also discussed that. So maybe, Olivia, if you listen to the podcast regularly, you would know some of the questions I get. So Christmas memory, one time it snowed outside and my dad pushed us in an oversized Tupperware bin on the streets because they were closed. And so we went sledding. That was cool. Favorite memory of our class. Wow. Wow. I would have to say, I'm not saying senior trip because I use that as a backup for everything. But there's so many good memories of our class. I seriously can't choose one. I mean, there are like so many awesome and fun things that we did and good things that we did. And so I don't know if I have a favorite memory. Do you like college? It's alright. I'm just kind of doing it. I wouldn't say that I'm in huge favor of it. So which pit bull is your favorite? It's kind of like asking me to choose between my siblings. It depends. Right now my favorite pit bull is Brick. Mainly because he's so energetic and he's the happiest one to see me because the other 2 are used to me, so I really like Brick right now. I love Jello and I love Trent equally, all of them, but right now Brick is my favorite. Which sibling is your favorite? Who is your BFF? Anybody that shows me attention. Are you single? Hopefully not long. Cardio or abs? I'm going cardio because like if you do cardio, that kind of works out your abs in a way. And plus I skateboard a lot, so that's like cardio anyway. So I would rather do cardio because it allows me to skateboard when I work out. Big spoon or little spoon? Either or, honestly. I'm perfectly fine with either. If the world was ending tomorrow, what would you do today? Probably the same thing that I've been doing. I mean, that's such a short preparation time. There's nothing I can do. Favorite type of candy cane? Peppermint. Camping or glamping? Since I don't know what glamping is, and that sounds kind of weird, I'm going to say camping. Nike or Under Armour? Nike. Would you rather grow your hair out to your waist or shave it all off? Right now, I'd rather grow it out to my waist. That's so long. Shave it all off because I've done that like twice. So, and plus, this is like really short compared to it being on my waist. And so, go to a Beyonce or an Ariana Grande concert? Neither. Here's that picture of John again. Just get back to there. If you were a fish, what type of fish would you be? A shark. Shark's a fish because it's underwater. Are you going to be in the 2020 Olympics for skateboarding? Definitely not. None whatsoever. If I gave you $20, would you shave off an eyebrow? I'm trying to look in the camera and see which eyebrow I would prefer shaving off. Nope, I won't shave off either of them. Would you rather be stuck out in the snow in just your underwear or stuck outside in the rain naked? If it's like 70, 65 degrees outside where it's warm, definitely the rain. I freaking hate the snow. Goldfish or whales? Whales. Every single day of the week. If you choose goldfish, we can't be friends. Whales are so much better and they're so much cheaper. Can you do the splits? None whatsoever. At all. Why is it entertaining to watch kids trip while they're running? Mainly because some people are, what's the word when they enjoy pain? It's not satanic. I don't remember. But I enjoy it. It's pretty funny. Is Donald and Kanye's friendship real or not? I'd say it's real, maybe because Kanye's kind of crazy and Donald Trump really doesn't understand what's going on. Look at my brother's hair. I just want to take a moment to point out that my brother's hair looks like plastic. I thought that was really funny. If you could live on one place on this earth, where would it be? Definitely in Iceland. Iceland for sure. Is that it? Oh, no. The last final four coming from your good friend Noah. What do internet girls mean when they talk about having a good time? Obviously, they mean you come over and you guys are going to build Play-Doh houses and you guys are going to be able to watch Netflix. What do atheists celebrate on Christmas? I don't think atheists celebrate Christmas, do they? I'm not exactly sure. I don't know any atheists. So if you're an atheist, HMU, let me know if you celebrate Christmas. What is the true meaning of Christmas when we mix elements of the birth of Christ and the pagan celebration of the beginning of winter? It's the true meaning of Christmas is complete greed for kids. I'm just gonna bottom line it. It's a marketing factor played to parents that have to buy their kids stuff. Anyway, guys, that is it for all the questions that you guys sent me in, and thank you guys for coming through on this. It was great. I enjoy answering these so much. I mean, really, these are a lot of my favorite answers, and every week you guys are always sending in good stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up right there. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will catch you on the flip. Stay funky.